During this tutorial, we will create a customizable lanyard using the Cricut Print and Cut feature. We will review how to prepare a design and how to maximize the space for print and cut. This project can be completed with either the Cricut Maker or Cricut Explorer Air 2. For this project, you will need a standard grip Cricut mat, printable shrink film in white, Cricut deep point blade, lanyard accessories such as silicone beads, breakaway clasp, and lanyard snap hooks, and an oven to bake the shrink plastic. Begin with uploading any clip art of your choice. Print and cut files will work great, but any design can be flattened for printing. If needed, resize the design. Create the design composition you'd like as a background. I will link these watercolor designs in the video description. Once you have the final design, select all and group together. Next, we will need to create the base for the lanyard medallion. Select Shapes and Circle. Change the circle to white. We will oversize our designs to 5 inches because shrink plastic shrinks to less than half the original size. Let's add in 2 additional circles as holes for the top and bottom of the lanyard medallion. Resize the circles to 0.25. Duplicate the first circle to create the bottom circle. To help center the holes, select the circle and the lanyard base, and use the Align tool to center horizontally. Now we have the 2 cut holes in the lanyard base ready. Select the base and the cut holes and group together. Also, send the lanyard base back so we can continue to work on the front of the design. Center the design on the lanyard base and resize to fill the shape, but be sure to keep the design within the lanyard base shape. Next, add the text for the front of the lanyard medallion. Any font would work, but a bold font would be easier to see. Position the text as needed. If you have more than one text box, be sure to make the text sizes the same so they look balanced. Next, change the text color to white and make sure the text is within the color of the background design. When shrink film is baked, the color intensifies and the white text will stand out on top of the pumpkin background design. Now it is time to flatten the design to prepare for printing. As a tip, before flattening any design, make a duplicate. Having a duplicate is much easier to edit rather than unflattening the design, which can freeze design space. To duplicate the design, select all and group together. Then select the duplicate. We don't need to use the duplicate design, so go ahead and hide that whole duplicate group. Now we are ready to flatten the design. However, we don't want to flatten the 2 little cut holes. We want those to cut, so we need to hide those first. To do that, ungroup the design and send the lanyard base to back if needed. Select both the cut holes, group them together, and hide the group. Select all and flatten the design. Move the flattened design back and unhide the cut circles. Select all and attach. The lanyard base is ready to go. Let's make the most out of our print and cut space and add a matching keychain. Duplicate the lanyard base and simply hide the bottom cut circle. Resize the keychain design to 4 inches. Do you remember the duplicate design we hid earlier? Find and unhide the design. We will use it to make a matching zipper pull charm. Duplicate the design again and hide the group. Now we will edit the design to create a small zipper pull charm. I ungroup the design and change the text to the first initial only. Hide both of the cut holes and select the design to flatten. Unhide one of the cut holes and move to the top of the design if needed. Be sure to increase the size of the top cut hole to be sure the cut hole is big enough for a jump ring. Select the design and group together and attach. Resize the zipper charm design to 2 inches. To make sure our design fits within the Cricut Print and Cut boundary, let's add a square as a template. Unlock the size ratio and make the width to 6.75 and the height to 9.25. This is a max print and cut size. Send the shape to back so we can arrange our designs on top of the template. Move each of the designs onto the template and make sure they all fit within the shape. Once everything is sized well, hide the template layer. Next, select all and attach everything. This will keep all the designs in place for print and cut. Let's make our design. Select Make It. If everything looks as expected, select Continue. Select Send to Printer. Turn the bleed off and the system dialog on. Once you select Print, you may need to minimize design space to see the printer system dialog box. Check the printer settings. Print in color and select photo or glossy paper if you have the option. Be sure to load the printer with a sheet of printable shrink film before selecting print. We need to add a setting to cut printable shrink film. At the Make screen, browse all materials and select Material Settings at the bottom. Scroll all the way to the bottom and add New Material. Enter a name and select Save. Change the blade to deep point blade with 4 cut passes and max pressure. Select Done to exit Material Settings. Back at the Make screen, browse materials for the printable shrink film setting you just added. Lastly, change the pressure to More. Allow the printed shrink film to dry for a few minutes. Then load the printed shrink film onto a standard grip Cricut mat. The Cricut will scan the printed sheet and cut out the shapes. After the cut is complete, remove the deep point blade and brush off any pieces of plastic left behind. Use a paper towel to lightly brush off the cut pieces and remove the cut holes. Grab a baking pan and a Teflon sheet or parchment paper. Place the shrink film design face up and bake the shrink film according to the package instructions. To assemble the lanyard, gather all the accessories you want to use. I picked up a kit with cord, beads, and breakaway clasps. I added jumper rings to the medallions using jewelry pliers. A tip for threading the cord into the beads. I use a jewelry eye pin as a needle and the jewelry pliers to pull the cord through. An optional step to protect your items is to seal the plastic. The color printed on the shrink film is permanent, but the plastic itself can warp if submerged in water. If you're concerned about damaging or staining the plastic medallions, I suggest a quick spray of a glaze like triple thick crystal clear glaze. Fun fact, printable shrink film is printable on both sides. To print double-sided, prepare your design as we did before and send to printer. Once the print and cut image is printed, and before loading the mat for cutting into the Cricut, minimize design space and open the image you want to print on the back. I find using a seamless pattern image easiest because there is no need to line up the image. In the printer settings, select glossy or photo paper and fill entire paper. Reload the printable shrink film sheet into the printer so that the printer will add color to the back. For my printer, I have to load the paper face up because the printer will flip the sheet when printing. Now that both sides are printed, head back over to Design Space to complete the cut. Select the shrink film material setting you already created and more pressure. Next, load the Cricut print and cut side up. As expected, the Cricut will cut the shapes and the images on the back are not damaged by the mat. The final step is to bake the shrink plastic pieces, and then they will be ready to add to your lanyard or keychain. Now our project's complete. A lanyard, keychain, and zipper pull charm matching set from one sheet of printable shrink film. Thanks for watching.